What happened here? Is this progress or was this a disaster? I am Joseph and this is Input English. Let's explore this area. So where am I? So this is the shore or the banks of Lexington Reservoir. We are near to the town of Los Gatos, which is south of San Jose. We're in Northern California, and you can see it's a beautiful, clear winter day. It's not very cold, cool enough, crisp we would call it. The weather is crisp, not a cloud in the sky. So this area is full of history, so let's share this. You can see the water is very low in this reservoir. Behind me, there's a hill, and then behind that is the dam, and that dam holds the water here, and the operators of the dam have the ability to raise and lower the water level depending upon their needs. So right now, you can see the water level is very low. So you might ask, so is this a drought? Are we having a drought and we're just running out of water? No. The reason the water is so low is because of all the rain. That seems paradoxical, doesn't it? Well, it's the rain that we're going to get in the future. They need to have a place to put this. So this reservoir is for capacitance. It is to hold the water. With things like sunlight and rainwater, the municipalities have a fundamental problem because you get the resource that you want, like sunlight or water, but not around the clock, not all the time. So in Northern California, we expect it to rain during a period of about 3 to 4 months, and the rest of the year there is no rain. But the demand for water doesn't stop with the rains, and so the local authorities have a responsibility to save the water. They could just let it run to the sea, but that wouldn't be very helpful to the citizens here. So what they did is built this dam to hold the water, and the reason it is so low is because we expect rain. They release the water to lower capacitance in the percolating ponds below, including that park where I filmed so many videos. But this area has a huge history. Let's review that. In the 1800s, the nearest town to where I stand was called Lexington. It was a small town served by a stagecoach line, and it was an intermediate stop on the way through the mountains, on the way to the coast, on the way to Santa Cruz and the ocean. And it was a bustling small town in the 1800s. But then something was happening at that time. They were building railroads, and a railroad was built through this area. The company, the railroad, decided to build a station, but they didn't build it in Lexington. They built it in a smaller little village or town called Alma. Now you may recognize that the name Alma in Spanish means spirit. It translates roughly to spirit. So how did Alma get its name? Well, it's not certain. The next valley over behind me is the Almaden Valley. So one story is that Alma was named after Almaden Valley as a shortened version of Almaden. Perhaps. There's no way to verify that. It could be that it was named after a person. And in fact, one of the stories is that one of the local officials named it after his sweetheart. And then a different story suggested that that sweetheart might have been working in a house of ill repute. We don't know. These are the stories surrounding the bustling town of Alma. So what happened? Well, Alma topped out at about 1,000 inhabitants. It was a busy railroad depot. It had banks, churches, houses, had more than a dozen saloons. There were homicides, there were robberies, all the usual things that you would expect to occur occurred. People got on and off the train here at the station, and the next stop up in the mountains was Wright Station. They had a station up there, and then further on they had other stations on the way to the ocean. So when the railroad line bypassed Lexington, that town shrank. It didn't have the support that it needed, and it shrank. Alma boomed. And that went on until about 1939, when the state built a highway, perhaps a quarter mile from here, and that highway 17 bypassed Alma. Then rail service was no longer needed. They got rid of a lot of the rail service. The town of Alma wound up being bypassed, and so it withered. By 1952, there were fewer than 100 inhabitants in this town. Now, I point behind me because this is where Alma existed, in this valley right behind me. In 1952, they built the Lexington Reservoir Dam, and they condemned the town of Alma. They tore down all the structures, and there's very little left. At the bottom of this lake, there is a highway bridge, a small one, no big structure over it, a small highway bridge. There are some roads. There are a lot of foundations of houses and buildings, but there are no intact structures. Because in 1952, they filled this reservoir and drowned that town, or what was left of it. Not the people, just the structures. So the town of Alma disappeared under the water of this reservoir. Now it reemerged in 2008 when they were doing maintenance on the dam. They replaced a pipe, and that required them to lower the water level to an extremely low level. And when the level of the water gets low enough, some of these structures become visible. Today, the water is low, but it's not excruciatingly low. So I doubt we'll see anything big, but I am going to walk around and see if I can find something to show you. So was this progress or a tragedy? I would submit that it was progress. It is common to hear stories that a town was bypassed by a highway or bypassed by a railroad and withered because of its lack of commerce related to that bypass. These things happen, and that's what happened here. Alma and Lexington had their day, but their day is past. So I'm going to look around and see if I can find interesting things to show you while we're here at the Lexington Reservoir. Here's some remnant of pavement. This is a paved section not related to any current activity, but that's not a naturally occurring surface. That's a road or sidewalk. It's some sort of man-made pavement from the old town of Alma. Here's another utility pole that's been cut off. So we know this was cut off around 1952, and it was probably in place functioning as a utility pole for decades prior to that. So this is evidence of the town. So where I am standing now is substantially under the level of the normal water level. This is the bottom of the lake, or close to the bottom of the lake. You can see it is deeper behind me. Most of the year, this place where I'm standing would be completely underwater. As I turn around, the grass behind me would be the bottom of the lake at that point. That eucalyptus tree behind us frequently is standing in water. Frequently the water level surrounds the trunk of that tree. These days, this reservoir is primarily for saving water for the San Jose water system. But it is a county park for Santa Clara County, and it has recreational purposes. No motorboats are allowed on the lake at all. Rowing teams use this for practice. I suppose one could bring a canoe or a kayak down here. I don't really see people doing that, and I've not tried to do it myself. You can see over my shoulder the dam for the reservoir, and that dam and its earthwork hold this water back. The dam has a spillway, and the spillway is the feature of the dam that allows them to release water in a controlled way. People do fish here. It never occurred to me that I should do that, because in a previous video I explained I don't like fishing and I don't like eating freshwater fish, so that lets me off the hook. I'm not going to be fishing here, but I do love water and boating and exploring the outdoors, and this is a lovely place to walk around and explore on a fresh, crisp winter day. I hope you enjoyed this brief visit to the Lexington Reservoir, and if you like videos like this, be sure to click on this one next. See you soon.